China. If you want a symbol of how China, now so much stronger and so much more aggressive, how China is spelling danger for Australia, take a look at the brawls yesterday at Queensland University between pro-democracy students from Hong Kong and their Australian supporters and students supporting communist China. And what were they fighting about on Australian soil and in a country where 1.2 million Australians now have Chinese ancestry? Well, they were fighting over China's latest aggression, some for, some against. Aggression this time, the grab for more control over the people of Hong Kong, giving China the right to drag them back to the rigged courts on the mainland to face Chinese justice. Well, that triggered huge protests in this former British colony, and last week we saw the reaction. Masked gangsters in white bashing these protesters. Gangsters who were then thanked by a Hong Kong politician close to China's dictators. But this is not the only Chinese aggression that is likely to hit Australia, or the worst. Well, look around already and see how $1 billion of Australian coal is being held up in Chinese ports, apparently to punish us for not letting a Chinese state-run company build our new 5G network and potentially spy on us. Oh, notice how China this month openly sent a ship to spy on our latest naval exercises, or how it has detained for months an Australian writer and pro-democracy advocate without even telling us why. Or see how Qantas this year was bullied into changing its websites to treat Taiwan not as the independent island nation that it is, but as a province of China, a province that China wants to take back. And have you also noticed how China has already effectively stolen the South China Sea to our north, a sea through which most or much of our sea trade comes, and how it's built military bases there and warned off US ships and planes that now come near?
Leave immediately and keep far off so as to avoid any misunderstanding.
And when the then Turnbull government complained about this theft of an entire sea and also passed laws against foreign interference in our politics, China put a ban for a year or more on meeting our ministers. Are you starting to see the picture now? And it's not just Australia being challenged by China. It is now, for instance, in a trade war with the United States, which is furious that China's been openly stealing its intellectual property. China's also arrested Canadians in reprisal for Canada detaining a Chinese telecommunications boss, wanted for breaching trade sanctions on Iran. And Taiwan, it is freaking. China's threatening to take back that former province, maybe even by force, and has been staging huge naval exercises right next to the island as if training to invade it. And Taiwan's president has been asking for help.
If it's Taiwan today, people should ask, who's next? Any country in the region. If it no longer wants to submit to the will of China, they will face similar military threats.
What you are seeing is a much more powerful and surprisingly much more aggressive communist China. Now has the second most powerful army in the world. And this aggression is driven from the very top by dictator Xi Jinping, now China's president for life, and its most threatening leader since Mao Zedong. Let me tell you about this man. When he became the top guy 7 years ago, the world thought, another reformer. He'll gradually make China more democratic, more open, more like us. And after all, Xi is the son of a famous communist military leader and vice premier. He was a reformer and even got purged for it. But Xi Jinping hasn't opened up China at all. He's instead cracked down on democratic reform. His regime persecutes people who challenge its power, like democracy advocates and human rights lawyers. They've been rounded up. Plus, Muslims too, up to 1 million, have been arrested and re-educated in huge detention camps in the province of Xinjiang. Something very worrying is happening in China. And the thing is, Australia, we're so small we can't do a thing about it. And do we even dare? do even dare try when China is our biggest trading partner and our future wealth is in its hard hands.